Hello, my name is Anna. I'm a wine advisor here at the Wine Society. Today we're going to look at the kinds of things you consider when you taste a wine. At the Wine Society we encourage our members to experiment, try lots of wine and to think about what they taste. Now there's a lot of pretension that's attached to tasting a wine and wine descriptors, but in actual fact thinking about what you're tasting and smelling will help you identify the things in the wine you like and to find wines in the future that will really appeal to your palate. Now, first of all, we'll look at the colour. A white wine, the colour will tell you how young it is. When it's young, it's almost colourless. And as it grows older, it goes from pale straw to a dark yellow. So this wine, if you look at that against my sleeve here, it's quite pale. So you can assume that's quite a young wine. You don't want any cloudiness. It's got to be crystal clear and certainly no sediment floating around. With a red wine, the same thing applies. Now, a red wine that is young will have lovely, vibrant crimson colours with purple hues. As it gets older, it becomes brick red around the edges, and you can tell that that's got a little bit of age on it. This has got a few years, but still quite vibrant in colour. So I'll just put that against my coat and you can have a look there. So, now the next thing is aroma. Now, the aroma of the wine is 80% of your perception of the taste is in the aroma. And so it's very, very important to take time to take the aromas in. So swirling the wine in the glass will release the aromas into the bowl of the glass. So some people will do this, but sometimes it's safer to put it on the table and swirl it. Nose should hover just over and take in the aromas. Now, the thing that's important about aromas is that grapes, the different grape varietals, share organic compounds with different fruit, vegetables and plants. And you can indeed pick out things in wines that taste or smell like other things. That's for a great example would be a New Zealand Sauv Blanc, which undoubtedly smells of gooseberry and passion fruit, sometimes citrus. So having smelled the wine, then you can taste. And the idea is to take a good mouthful, swill it right around the mouth, and then when it's laying in the bottom of your jaw, draw back some air, and that will amplify your perception of the aromas. Once the wine is in your mouth, you also would like to consider the mouthfeel, the weight of the wine. This wine is a white wine that's quite light and fresh, but if the wine had been aged or perhaps oaked, you may have more body, more viscosity. And that's an important thing to note if you're going to serve a wine with a particular kind of food. A nice, light, crisp wine like this would be fantastic with seafood, but you may want a heavier, creamier style of wine if you're serving creamy pasta or roast chicken. So, and the same with a red. A red has a lot of components to consider. It has the fruit, the acid, and also the amount of oak and tannin in a wine. A good wine will have a perfect balance of all of those components with no one feature jutting out. So always look for balance in a red wine. Red wine that is quite viscous will have legs that run down the side of the glass. That's an indication of the alcoholic content, and sometimes the sugar will give it a viscosity. The other hallmark of a great wine is the aftertaste. A good wine will stay with the palate for quite a long time, a lovely, long, pleasant aftertaste. And that is fantastic also if you're eating food with a wine. So there are some things to think about. Next time you try a wine, see if you can pick out things in the aromas and in the taste of the wine that remind you of other things. I tend to keep a little notebook. If something's very, very particular to my palate, I'll write down the name of the wine and the experience of the wine. I know that sounds funny, but now with iPads and so forth, you can take a quick note of anything. But the word is experiment. If you have any questions about tasting wine, and certainly the descriptors, we have lists of descriptors, please call us and talk to a wine advisor. The number's 1300 723 723. We'd be so pleased to answer any questions. Cheers, man.